Hi everyone, so here is the loose version of the Yellow Turbo Ranger. And please bear with me here because a couple of days back I got sick, so that's why I would sound like a broken down bus if anything. So, and also, and I also want to let you guys know I did do a bit of customizations to this figure right here. So, that's why if you actually own this figure, it looks a bit different. Now, one major customization job that I did for this figure is that if you see this hook right here, this figure came with this hook and was attached to a string, and this string came out of this hole in her hand, that very hole that you can see right now. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The one right there. So I obviously cut that string off because it looked quite unpleasant. I'm sorry, let me just put the figure back. There we go. And what I did was the hole that was in her belt buckle, I basically covered it up and I customized it to look like the rest. So what you could do with the hook was you could actually attach it onto her belt buckle, and with the press of this button on her back, you could release the hook, and it's like a firing action. But obviously, me being a collector, I don't really care for these little action feature gimmicks. So as for detail, the detail is really good, and just like the pink Turbo Ranger figure that I did review on, when I look at this figure, I see the yellow Turbo Ranger because her build is just perfect for me, and the way they made their helmet is really awesome too. Because the previous Yellow Ranger, actually I have her here. I can actually put her on screen too to do a comparison. Previous Yellow Ranger. Oh, let me just move this here. Yeah, as you can see, one major flaw is that this Yellow Ranger, the previous one, is so much bigger and big boned like a football player. As you can see, her helmet too. I don't know, there's something that they've done with it. It looks like it's fatter in the front and then it gets smaller in the back. It looks like a squashed oval. That her helmet just looks really horrible. Just overall, looking at this figure, it just looks very unpleasant if you ask me. And the hands coming out like that makes it even look really horrible overall. So this figure, if you can see, the helmet is the perfect shape, and she actually does look like Yellow Racer or the Yellow Turbo Ranger. So I'm very pleased. Excuse me there. And as for articulation, they kind of screwed up her hand, which is not a big deal for me because I'm still in amazement that they made such accurate looking figures. So her hand is stuck in this position. You can only move it up and down, and you can move it around like that as well. Same for the other hand. As for the feet they didn't tamper with. The feet are perfect. I'll try to move it. I don't think I can with the skirt on, but the feet, you can move it up. You can move it a fair distance. You can move it actually all the way up, and I'm sorry I can't show you on camera here because of the skirt. And you can, from the knee, you can also bend the boot here, and you can also move it around like so. It's like a standard figure's foot, like nothing too complicated. So that's basically it for articulation. And as for weapons, she came with the same weapons the Pink Ranger shifter figure did, or any standard Turbo Ranger figure. She came with the auto blaster that's in her holster and the standard sword. I forget its name. And now for customization. For the skirt, what I basically did was I used yellow duct tape. I know it sounds like something you never heard of, but yellow, this duct tape sold in different colors, and I believe they're sold by actually, it's a company called Henco. Yeah, I just had to look it up because I couldn't remember. And this duct tape can be found in Walmart, or if you, I don't know if you guys might have a store named Michaels, because in Canada there's a store named Michaels that's dedicated to basically art, and it comes in all different colors, like red, white, orange, like any color you want that comes in that color. And I know the yellow shade of the skirt is quite a bit darker than the actual figure, but honestly I made the skirt for my for like something that just for me, because I wanted it to look somewhat show accurate, and it does the job too. It looks quite show accurate than not having a skirt at all. So I just made it for me. I'm not too anal about wanting it this well. It would be nice to have the skirt the same shade, but you gotta do with what you have, right? So I'm not too concerned about that. And I actually have the yellow Space Ranger here, so I can actually show you. Let me move this back a bit. I can actually show you a comparison shot so you can see the different build, like how the build is. Let me just remove her weapon here. So this is the yellow Space Ranger, the original Lightstar figure. So as you can see, they actually went above and beyond and made the yellow Turbo Ranger quite slim. And her build actually resembles the yellow Space Ranger. It's almost the same, and they go well together, as you can see. So I apologize for that. And basically they did a really great job on this figure. And I'm gonna move on to the other customization job that I did. Basically, for the belt, it's nothing too big. I just put a piece of duct tape and to cover the hole, and I colored it silver with a silver calligraphy pen. And I didn't have anything yellow because the two dots here, as you can see on this very yellow Ranger here, on the belt buckle, there's two yellow dots, but I didn't have anything yellow to actually color it, so I put two white dots in there instead, and it looks almost the same. It doesn't bother me one bit. So it's just an easy customization job. You can go through and figure out many ways to do that because it's not that complicated. It's just basically covering a hole and making it look show accurate. So that's basically it. And as for the strings that are attached onto the hand, that's no problem because both hooks that are coming out of both hands are attached with one large string. So once you cut one side of the string off, the other side just falls apart. So it's no big deal, because at first a lot of people were thinking that it was connected with two strings to the figure and it was going to be very difficult to get the string and the hooks out, but it was no problem. So that's basically it for the yellow Turbo Ranger. And as for pricing range, I apologize for that. I'm going to be honest with you because I wouldn't actually know proper price to give you, because I got this figure from one of those collector shops that seem to only carry them, and they charge like a fortune. Like I got this for, I'm not going to lie, like for like $50, right? Because I really wanted this figure. So if anything, if they were to be on eBay, a seller would be smart and put it up for an auction for 99 cents, and it will just ride up. It will really depend on the price. It's no real set price. It can actually go up a lot or go down a lot. It will just really depend. So I can't really give you much of a pricing point. And with that aside, I give this 5 stars out of 5 stars. And I really recommend you get this figure along with the Turbo Shifter Pink Ranger, because they make great additions to your Turbo Ranger team, and they look like true females. They don't look like that previous Yellow Ranger I showed you where it's all buffed up and looks like a football player. Like honestly, if you have those buffed up figures, I urge you, like if you can, try and replace those big females with these really nice looking actual female Rangers. And As always, thanks for watching, and don't worry, I'm gonna get to the White Ranger review. It's just that I just haven't gotten the time, and even this review is a bit delayed because I got this figure 2 weeks back, but I was just putting it off because I actually didn't have the time to do any reviews. But I'll do my best and try to do the White Ranger review as soon as possible. And as always, thanks for watching, and keep a lookout for my other reviews.